My friends, for more than 9 months, Israel's soldiers have shown boundless courage. With us today is Lieutenant Avichail Reuven. Avichail is an officer in the Israeli paratroopers. His family immigrated to Israel from Ethiopia. In the early hours of October 7th, Avichail heard the news of Hamas's bloody rampage. He put on his uniform, grabbed his rifle, but he didn't have a car. So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people. You heard that right. He ran 8 miles, came to the front lines, killed many terrorists, and saved many, many lives. Avichail, we all honor your remarkable heroism.
On October 7, 2023, as chaos unfolded on Israel's southern border, a young IDF officer, Second Lieutenant Avichail Reuven, made a decision that would forever change his life and the lives of many others. This is the story of a hero, a story of courage, and a story of divine providence in the face of overwhelming odds. It was a calm Saturday morning in Kiryat Malachi. The sun was just beginning to rise and the city was quiet, but the peace was soon shattered by the piercing sound of sirens, signaling an impending threat. Second Lieutenant Avichail Reuven, just 21 years old, in the midst of his officer training, was at his parents' home when he was jolted awake. The news that followed was devastating. Terrorists had launched a massive coordinated attack on Israel's Gaza border communities. Though still in training and not yet fully equipped to lead a battle, Reuven knew that he couldn't stand by and do nothing. His sense of duty and responsibility overpowered any fear. With his uniform still damp from being laundered and no official orders to mobilize, Reuven made an extraordinary decision. He told his brother and a friend, "I'm heading to the border. If anything happens, I'll fight the terrorists myself." Despite their disbelief, Reuven's mind was set. But there was a problem. Reuven had no car and no way to get to the battlefront. Standing at a highway interchange, he tried desperately to hitch a ride, but no one stopped. Time was running out. The terrorists were advancing, and every minute counted. It was then that Reuven made the unthinkable choice to run. He started running towards the Gaza border, fully aware that he was running into the heart of danger, into the very jaws of the enemy. The journey was brutal. Running in a wet uniform, carrying his rifle, and hearing the constant wail of sirens and the sound of rockets crashing down around him, Reuven pressed on. 12 kilometers, 8 miles of relentless running in the scorching heat. Every step felt like a battle, but Reuven didn't stop. He was driven by something more than duty. He was driven by the belief that he was meant to be there, that he had to protect his people at any cost, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. After an exhausting hour, Reuven managed to catch a ride with a civilian who was also trying to reach the border, desperate to save his own child who had been at the Supernova Music Festival. The civilian drove Reuven as far as he could before the road became impassable. Finally, Reuven caught another ride with a police car to the Zikim base, one of the many IDF locations under siege that day. The scene at Zikim was one of utter chaos. The base was under heavy attack, with fires raging and gunshots echoing in every direction. Many of the soldiers there were still in basic training, unprepared for the brutal reality they were facing. But Reuven didn't hesitate. He took charge, moving from one group of soldiers to another, guiding them, encouraging them, and fighting alongside them. At that moment, Reuven wasn't just a trainee. He was a leader, a protector, and a beacon of hope for those around him. Reuven's determination and courage was nothing short of miraculous. He tended to the wounded, gave orders to the soldiers, and even recruited 3 female soldiers from a bomb shelter, telling them, "This is your moment to prove you're fighters." He armed them and stationed them at the entrance to the shelter, where they stood guard, ready to defend their fellow soldiers with their lives. As the battle raged on, Reuven encountered Colonel Erez Eshel, who had also arrived at Zikim to help. Together, they continued the fight, moving from Zikim to other critical locations, including Kibbutz Be'eri, where the terrorists had unleashed unspeakable horrors. Eshel, who later described Reuven as a super soldier, was deeply impressed by the young officer's composure and skill under fire. He didn't know Reuven's name at the time, but he knew he was witnessing something extraordinary. By the early hours of Sunday morning, the Battle of Zikim was over. The terrorists had been repelled, and Reuven finally reunited with his company. Exhausted but unbroken, he had done what few could ever imagine. He had put his life on the line for others, running into danger when others would have fled. And in doing so, he had helped save countless lives. But Reuven's story didn't end there. His bravery and selflessness caught the attention of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who shared Reuven's story with the world during his address to the U.S. Congress in July 2024. The chamber erupted in a standing ovation as Netanyahu recounted how Reuven had run 8 miles to the Gaza border to defend his people, killing terrorists and saving lives in the process. It was a moment of profound recognition for a young man who had shown extraordinary courage in the face of unimaginable danger. Today, Second Lieutenant Avichail Reuven continues to serve in the IDF as a company commander, instilling the same values of courage and determination in his soldiers. He insists on including long runs in their training, reminding them that physical endurance is just as important as mental strength. But there's something more to Reuven's story, something beyond the physical and the tactical. It is the belief that he was meant to survive that day, that divine providence had guided him through the chaos, protecting him so that he could protect others. Reuven's journey is a testament to the power of faith, courage, and the unwavering will to protect one's people. He is a hero not just because of what he did, but because of why he did it. He believed that his mission was to save lives, and that belief carried him through the darkest of times. In the end, it wasn't just his physical strength that saved him. It was something greater, something that transcended the battlefield. It was the hand of divine providence that guided him, protected him, and allowed him to emerge from the fire as a true hero. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe, share, and comment below. Let's honor the bravery of those who put their lives on the line for us every day. And remember, sometimes the greatest battles are not won with weapons, but with faith. Thank you for watching.